Hey everyone, Joel Cherrico here, Cherrico Pottery. This video is about a recap of the pottery that I made this year. And specifically, I did a video about 7 ridiculously awesome things that I had promised my Patreon page for 2023. Well, it's winding down to the end of 2023. It's November 6th when I'm filming this. And so I thought I'd recap those 7 things. I did some of them I failed at totally, and I've got a list here that we're gonna go over. And so let's dive in. Number 7, I said I was gonna do 1,000 shot cups in one day and let patrons, my Patreon subscribers, buy them for $1 each. So the whole goal was to grow our Patreon subscriber base, because Patreon is a way for people to support my pottery making. On a monthly basis, it lets me explore a more diverse body of artwork and try different things. And patrons get pottery and all kinds of things. So I just wanted to make it fun. It's just kind of a stunt to do cool things for Patreon. That's what all 7 of these things were for, to try to grow our Patreon. Spoiler alert, it didn't really grow. It's stayed stable. So I wasn't able to do everything on this list, but let's get into it. Number 7, I'm gonna check that one off because I did it. 1,000 shot cups in one day. I did it February 10th, and it was awesome. I did 1,046 shot cups. I'm gonna try to read off some notes here about what I'll say. Yeah, 1,046 shot cups. I mean, it took like 12 hours, and it's you can see it on my Facebook page. It was crazy. So I'm gonna mark that one off because I don't plan on doing that one again. I sold them for $1 each to patrons, because Patreon subscribers, I give them awesome deals all the time. They all sold, and that was great. It was a cool stunt. But $1 pots, that's kind of hard to make a living selling $1 pots. So I don't plan on doing that again. But I'm glad I did it. It was fun. Can cross it off the list. Number 6, I said I was going to do twice as many live videos for pottery. You'll notice that this video is not live. I'm posting this after the fact. What I found was the live videos, they need to have a vibe of excitement. They need to get people really excited about the art. And when I went live twice as many times, people kind of ran out of questions. I ran out of things to talk about. Most of the pottery making process is kind of boring. And so it just wasn't very effective. It was like the videos weren't as exciting. So I did it kind of partially for like a little check there. I did it for a while, and I stopped doing it because 10 is my standard. And I keep a calendar that I publish to patrons on those 10 videos, but 20 was just too many. So I stopped doing that. I'm not gonna do that anymore. I just wanna do videos when I'm excited about the pots. But what I did do is I started giving away pottery free in videos. I said, if this live video gets to 100 people, I'll give away the mug I'm drinking from. And that got really exciting. All of a sudden I have like 400 or 500 comments on a video. And I'd pick one person and send them a free mug. So I'm definitely gonna do more of that. So what this process did was it didn't grow our Patreon subscriber base, but it forced a whole bunch of other ways to share the art with more people, which is really exciting. I also started filming something called Cherrico Pottery Lessons, where I do a short video like this. It's not live, I just do it myself alone in the studio, and then I post it on my Patreon page about a pottery lesson, about making a dinner plate, making the texture on a lunar mug, making a mountain mug, and it would be like a 5 to 15 minute video that's one specific pottery lesson, and I filmed 17 of those throughout the year. So that was a different type of video that I made only for patrons. So I'm gonna cross that one off the list. I didn't exactly do it, but it led to new things. Number 5, 765, was tote bags. I said every patron is gonna get a custom tote bag that was organic cotton, that we bought organic cotton, and then we printed them here in our studio. We did that. We sent every single patron a tote bag, and we still have a bunch left. So if people sign up for Patreon, I actually send them a tote bag right away. So this is what they look like. And this is my wife's paper making studio. It's a little bit messy right now, but we are opening up for tours, and we're gonna get it all cleaned up and hopefully functional by the end of this month. Tote bag, double-sided. So we ran them through what's called a press. Where's the press? There's the press right there. And it doesn't look like much, but it's a piece of machinery that when you run fabric or paper through it with linoleum carving, we can get a custom-made tote bag that we made right here in the studio. But we're not gonna do that anymore. Discontinuing it because This space is for making paper. So this doesn't look like much, I know, because we're still in the process of building it, but my wife, Sienna, makes paper by hand. So instead of tote bags for next year, we're gonna send every patron a piece of her handmade paper that she made by hand, and I have a draft of it. I guess I'll show you a sneak peek. The plan is for her to carve some type of grasses. They'll be printed on the paper, and then I'm going to paint with India ink a vase. So it'll be collaborative art that we're gonna send patrons instead of a tote bag, because it just makes more sense with our space. Number 4, I said I was gonna send 10 cosmic mugs to 10 different people. I've only done 2 so far. Again, I tried to grow to like 2,000 patrons, and we only grew to, I think our peak was somewhere between 700 or 800. So I wasn't able to, financially, I couldn't give as much as I wanted to, because I couldn't figure out how to grow our Patreon. So I'm not gonna check that one off yet, because I only sent it to 2 people, a set of 10 cosmic mugs, but someone today, I'm gonna pick one of my patrons today to receive a set of 10 cosmic mugs. So Gene, I don't remember if you're in Minneapolis or St. Paul, but I'm gonna send you 10 cosmic mugs today. You'll have an email waiting for you when this video is published. You're getting 10 cosmic mugs, and I'm gonna pick 6 more people, so that's 60 more cosmic mugs. We're each gonna get a set of 10 cosmic mugs. It's just gonna take me a little bit longer. I'm gonna do it throughout this next month and then the coming months in 2024. So I'm not gonna check that one off. I'm gonna circle it because I still need to fulfill that one, and I'm going to. Number 3, make a jar and donate the profits to charity. I said I was gonna carve every patron's name on a jar and then auction a jar off for charity. And I didn't quite do that because it just didn't seem like why does somebody want a jar with like 700 patrons' names carved in the side of it? So I just made a jar instead, and I carved into the side of it, what's good for the hive is good for the bee, which is this quote by Marcus Aurelius that he said 2,000 years ago. And the jar looks like a beehive. And that was it. And I did this beehive texture. And I brought it to a local charity auction, and it sold for $7,500. Along with some other pottery I donated. And collectively, it raised $8,900 for a local charity in Avon, Minnesota that supports high school students and senior citizens who need money for school supplies or for living expenses if they're seniors. And I've got a second one of these jars. I'll show it to you when we go out. I'll take a little tour of the rest of the studio. It's out there. It's been fired once, and I don't know what to do with it yet. But I'm gonna mark that one as a success because I made a jar and I auctioned off for charity, and I'm gonna cross it off because I don't know what I'm gonna do with the other jar. I might auction it off next year. I might do something with charity. I might decide to make it and finish it and put it in the jewel gallery here with some of my other big jars. I'll show you that jar towards the end of this video. We've only got 2 left. Number 2, pick 2 people and bring them to the studio and give them pottery lessons. I didn't do this yet either. Again, we didn't get even close to 2,000 patrons, so I wasn't able to afford bringing people to the studio, but I've decided I am gonna do it. Like I said, it's just gonna take a little longer. It's gonna go into 2024. This morning, yesterday morning, whenever this publishes, I sent out a survey to see who might wanna come. 7 people responded so far and said they'd like to come to the studio, and I'm gonna figure out how to put them up. If it's like on a weekend, put them up in a local bed and breakfast that's really nice, and figure out what they want to learn. Are they beginning potters who want to learn how to throw pots, or are they more advanced who want to learn glazing techniques? So I am going to do that one. I'm not going to check it off yet. I'm going to circle it because I'm still going to do it. And I'm going to link to all this stuff in the Patreon post that this video is published on. So if you want to be one of these people who comes to the studio and gets a pottery lesson from me, I'll link to it in this post. Okay, and number 1, the thing I said I was gonna do to make Patreon more exciting for 2023 for all my patrons, I said if we get to 2,000 patrons, I'll reenact the scene from Ghost, the Swayze scene with Demi Moore with my wife Sienna. She gave permission to sign up for that, but we didn't get even near as many people as we needed to sign up for Patreon. So that one, I'm just gonna straight up cross off because I didn't want to do it anyways. I just thought it would be worth it if a lot of people sign up for Patreon. So glad I don't have to do that one. So that's about it. I'm gonna do a quick studio tour right now. Oh, I'm opening up studio tours as well to bring more, to try to get more people excited about Patreon, which is the best way to support our art. Really, it's monthly support, which is extremely rare for artists. So I'm gonna open up studio tours. We're doing our first one December 1st, and then I'd like to do more throughout the year in 2024. So if you want to come see the studio, show up on December 1st of this year and come take a tour. I'm going to devote the whole day just to bringing people around the studio, giving you a formal tour of every single space in the studio and talking about how and why we make this art. And it's for patrons. You can bring guests that are non-patrons. I'll link to this in this video. Because what else did we do that was a surprise? We have our solar roof that's completed. Those are called inverters, which turn solar energy into electricity, which power our kilns. 2 pottery kilns, pumping out about 500 pots a month. I stopped using cobalt in 99% of my pottery, and that was replaced by this ruby red glaze, so that's exciting. The ruby red is gonna be one of our standard glazes now. What else? Let's go into the office. We successfully eliminated plastic from all of our packaging. We package with paper, but we used to protect the pots, wrap the pottery so it doesn't break, in plastic bubble wrap, and then, here's the 10 cosmic mugs I'm gonna send to Gene. Gene, congratulations again. And again, if you're also a patron, I'm gonna send 6 more patrons throughout the next year, a set of 10 cosmic mugs, just for free, just as a surprise gift. We used to wrap in bubble wrap and then a 5-inch cube cardboard box, and then wrap that in air pillows. Like you've probably seen them if you buy things from Amazon, like most people. But plastic is worse environmentally than paper. The data is very clear. I've read many books about this. The data today, I've got a book over there called The Carbon Almanac that tells how only 9% of plastic today is recycled. Most plastic goes into the garbage, goes into an incinerator. Paper is more environmentally friendly. So I eliminated the plastic air pillows, eliminated the bubble wrap. I found a supplier that lets me rent this equipment in case in the future plastic becomes more environmentally friendly, and we use paper void fill and plastic wrapping. Paper void fill and paper wrapping. No more plastic at Cherrico Pottery. Other big changes, the studio is now just Sienna and me. I tested having more employees. We had a full team of full-time employees. Since starting Cherrico Pottery, I've hired 22 people. 22 people on payroll or through internships. With friends and family, we had over 40 people assist, but we had employees and it was just not enough sales to support the employees. So we went back down to just Sienna and me. I tested having pottery made in China, my cosmic mug. I've tested having the cosmic mug mass produced in a factory and people didn't want to buy it as much as what I make with my hands. I've tested having pottery made in Wisconsin with my logo on it and sales were not very high. I tested having a bisqueware mug made in Ohio in the United States that I glaze in my cosmic glaze. Discontinued all that. I discontinued basically every one of those side projects because people want the art that I'm making with my hands. So that's another massive change going into 2024. It's just Sienna and me. Hopefully we'll get back to having some employees in the future to help out. So much labor to do the pottery, but we'll see. I kind of also just like making work alone, being in the studio alone, and sharing the art with who's ever willing to watch on the internet, which is how I built this whole business and how I like to spend my time. That gets me excited about the pots. Maybe it'll get you excited about the pots too. That pretty much covers everything. I hope that if you're a patron, you'll come take a visit at the Cherrico Pottery Studio, and some of you will consider coming and having a lesson. I want to give a couple people lessons throughout this next year, and I think that pretty much covers it. Oh, the jar. Let's take a peek at the jar before I sign off. If you're still watching, hopefully this video is not too boring. These are launching soon from mugsandbooks.com with Stephen Pressfield. These are goat pelts. This is the skin and hide of a goat from glacierware.com, small business. And they're gonna be wrapping around one of my mugs that is gonna be sold, wrapped in goat hide in a walnut box by Offerman Wood Shop out in Los Angeles. These are made out in Maine and harvested from goat in Maine, and the wood was harvested in California by Nick Offerman, his team at Offerman Woodshop, and it's a collaborative project that's going to launch soon with Stephen Pressfield, mugsandbooks.com. Side note, super excited about that. And this is the jar I was talking about. What's good for the hive is good for the bee. This has been fired once, brushed with iron oxide. With a screw imprint to make a beehive texture. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but thinking about serving patrons and this Patreon subscription has really helped grow the art in ways I could have never predicted. So if you're a patron, thank you. You make this art possible. Okay, I'm done droning on. See you in the next video. Peace out.